Jingai Musume 132. Luffy and Yuki. Editors, Sebastian, Speed Phoenix. A gentle warmth enveloped both my head and my cheeks. It was soft, comfortable, and provided me with a sense of relief. The touch I felt on my cheeks moved up then down, and up, then down, like a tender caress. It felt so heavenly that I got the impression I was being rocked back and forth in some sort of cradle. I drifted back and forth between wake and sleep as I enjoyed the sensation. Though I felt so comfortable I didn't want to wake, my consciousness slowly returned. As I opened my eyes, I found myself looking straight into Luffy's. Have you finally awoken? Yeah. Morning, Luffy. For a while, I just continued to stare. My brain had yet to fully kick itself back into gear. It was still sluggish and only just barely capable of processing information, but I tried to figure out the situation at hand nonetheless. Wait. How'd this happen? My head was on Luffy's lap. The soft, gentle warmth that I felt on the back of my head was the sensation of touching her thighs, and the tender caress I had felt on my cheek had been one of her hands. Her thighs are so soft. Oh man, I just want to bury my face in them. That'd be bliss. Well, that's a completely unreserved thought. Brain, please. It is simple. I placed your head upon my lap, said Luffy. It is quite the exquisite pillow, isn't it? I believe no other to be its equal. Yeah, it feels hella good. And must you be so blunt? Your honesty disrupts my composure, she said with a blush. Actually, now that I think about it, I'd say your wings are actually better if we judge purely based on how high quality a pillow something is. But that said, I think your thighs have got better staying power. If I had the chance to pick one and stick to it forever, I'd definitely take your thighs. Honestly, I'd probably even say that they're both the best. Neither is really objectively better than the other. They've got different merits. I did not think that you would still bear so much energy immediately following the events that have just transpired, said Luffy with an exasperated smile. At first, I raised an eyebrow as I wondered what she meant, but soon realized that there was in fact more to the world than just Luffy. Only then did my mind finally process everything in the world around us. Above me lay the great blue sky. Around me, there lay countless craters and scorch marks. Parts of it had turned completely black, and most trees in our vicinity had been totally smashed to bits. The place was a mess, and the cause of it all was the massive corpse that lay beside us, the dragon whose scales were dyed a deep shade of black. Right. I remember now. I fought the bastard and won, and then I finished him by sawing off his head. Executing the asshole was my last memory. Everything that followed was blank, which meant I had probably collapsed on the spot. I had quite literally pushed myself to my limits. You know, even I'm having trouble believing that I'm actually still alive after all that. Wait. What happened to all my wounds? I directed my gaze down towards my own body to find that, while my clothes were still all messed up, I was no longer injured. There wasn't even a single trace of the many injuries that I had endured. My arm was back, my wings were back, everything could move again, and I no longer looked like a walking corpse. That said, it wasn't all good news. My body felt sluggish, really sluggish. My body didn't really seem to want to listen to my commands. Did you fix me up, Luffy? I did. I am the Supreme Dragon, a veritable symbol of power. Healing your wounds was but an act of child's play, said the silver-haired maiden. But though I have restored your flesh, I cannot restore the blood that you have lost. You would best remain still and rest. Thanks, I chuckled as I listened to her brag. Wait, I could have sworn I filled this whole area with poison. What happened to all of it? Worry not, I have already dispersed it. It shan't affect us. I see. Thanks, I smiled. And sorry, it seems like I've been making you clean up after me. Fret not, for you are my partner. It is only natural for me to assist you in resolving the aftermath of your actions, especially in a case such as this. Luffy smiled. For the task in which you involved yourself was engaging in my protection. So how do you think I did? Splendidly, for you have succeeded in ensuring the defeat of your foe. Then I guess it was worth pushing myself so hard after all. It's nice to know that getting my body punched full of holes actually paid off. And push you did. Your actions were rash, as those that dare to challenge dragons are often known to their peers as naught but madmen, said Luffy. I know that, while you may hide behind a facade of tranquility, you are too quick to lose your temper. Have you thought not of the extent to which I was concerned for your well-being? I didn't really have much of a comeback, so I ended up laughing off her comment instead of denying it. It was cool though, right? I will at least admit that you impressed me much more than he. The way Luffy laughed as she spoke was so lovely I was sure it brought a smile to my face. Hey, Luffy, what is it? I love you. She didn't seem to know how to react, as her whole body suddenly stiffened up in response to my words. I used her lack of action as a cue to keep talking. Hell, saying I love you is an understatement. It's more than just that. I'm totally head over heels for you. Why is it that you are suddenly professing your affections? Her face turned a deep shade of red as she finally processed the words I had just said to her. Only after hearing her flustered response did I realize that she was right. I tilted my head in confusion. Huh, what's gotten into me? I guess my head's probably still all messed up because of how hard I pushed myself. Like, seriously, I thought I was going to die. Anyway, enough with the excuses and shit. I know that I'm not really the best match for you as I am right now. Hell, I'm so weak I struggle to beat a wimp that doesn't even know how to fight. But I'll do my best to get stronger. And one day, I'll get strong enough to stand right by your side. I hope that's okay. You need not debase yourself any further, chuckled Luffy. She seemed to have, for the most part, gotten over her embarrassment. There was still a twinge of red on her face, but she was able to address me in the same way as usual. In fact, she seemed to be slowly taking her time and carefully choosing her words. And once she was finally done, She spoke in a manner almost reminiscent of a declaration. I have witnessed the extent of your courage with my very own eyes. The manner in which you carried yourself in battle was so impressive that I found myself fascinated by your abilities. I need not see you grow to know that you will, Yuki. I know that one day you shall achieve strength that mirrors my own, and that you may perhaps even go further beyond. So I've even been certified by the mighty Supreme Dragon herself, huh? What an honor. A smile appeared on my face as I forced my groggy, unresponsive body to move. Slowly but surely, I raised a hand towards the silver-haired girl's cheek. I love you, Leffy. I'm so hopelessly in love with you that I don't know what to do with myself. I don't ever want you to leave my side. So, Leffy, won't you take my hand and forever stay by my side? I believe that most others in your circumstances would have asked a question more akin to would you not be mine? Making you mine would mean putting shackles on you and taking away your freedom. And I don't want that. I want you to be you. I want you to be free to do whatever it is that you want. That is quite the interesting manner of expressing your wishes. Leffy chuckled as she placed a hand on the one I had against her cheek. Yuki. She looked at me with a smile full of affection. If it is what you desire, then I, Leficios, shall remain by your side for all of eternity. She slowly brought her face towards mine and pressed her lips against mine. The sensation was soft, sweet, and pleasant. So wonderful it was that I could almost feel my mind melt away as I allowed myself to enjoy it. Through her lips, I could feel her warmth, her burning passion. Her feelings flowed into me and mine into her. It was like we had become one. I didn't know exactly how long it had lasted. It could have been seconds, minutes, or even longer. But I knew that it had eventually come to an end when she slowly pulled away. She had only inched just a bit backwards. She was still right there with me. And just as we had the moment I had awoken, we gazed into each other's eyes. This is pretty embarrassing, I said as I felt a blush slowly creep on my face. Bearing with my own embarrassment has proven quite rewarding, giggled Leffy. I would not have had the chance to see that look on your face had I not. Her cheeks were still as red as a tomato, but she had a mischievous look on her face. It was an innocent expression, like that of a child that had just finished playing a prank. It was adorable. She was so beautiful that my eyes were drawn to her. I couldn't avert my gaze even if I wanted to, and as I stared, my heart began to pound. Do not be mistaken, Yuki, she stammered, for the touch of our lips was merely a part of a draconic ritual. I nodded knowingly, totally not suspicious at all. And what kind of ritual would that be? Oh, one that merely designates you as my mate, she said with a blush. Wait, I demand that you explain that smug grin of yours immediately. I know what you're talking about. I'm not acting any different. It's totally just you. I played dumb, just to tease her. But anyway, I guess that means you're basically my wife now, doesn't it? Why your wife? Leffy squeaked. I suppose that it does, but do not allow this change in our status to get to your head. I shall become quite angry should you continue to gather young women. Alright, now hold up a second, oh bride of mine. Just putting it out there, but I've never intentionally gone out of my way just to increase the little girl count round these parts. Seriously, why's she always gotta blame me for this anyway? It's not my fault. They just keep springing up out of nowhere. I swear to God I have no idea how or why it keeps happening, but it's not my fault. As much as I wanted to keep complaining, I couldn't. Even just looking at Leffy made me break into a smile. What is it? She asked as she noticed that I was staring at her. Oh, you know, I was just thinking about it because I called you my bride just now, but I actually really like the way that sounds. I would really have preferred if you kept thoughts like that one to yourself. They are rather embarrassing to hear. Yeah, well you're cute as hell when you're embarrassed. What's the problem? Did I not just ask you to stop that? Watching her reactions made me smile. She was acting like she was mad, but I could tell that she wasn't anywhere near as dissatisfied as she was making herself out to be. Hey Leffy, wanna give me another? I suppose it cannot be helped. I will indulge you. The dragon girl immediately understood exactly what I wanted. She made sure to put on a show of exasperation, but despite that, she didn't turn me down. Instead, she slowly lowered her lips and once again pressed them against my own.